Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Round 2 edition. We're back on the attack with more Nintendo awesomeness, the second episode in one day, because there's just so much to discuss. And it's not all pretty. It's so hard to even utter these words because Nintendo is looking at doing the unthinkable. NFTs. Yikes with a capital Y. We're gonna have to dive in and pick that one all apart. Also, Nintendo has said they're not doing acquisitions, and the reason is really interesting. I'm curious what you'll think. Plus, it seems like Shredder is about to shred onto Switch soon. Can't wait for that one. And a brand new eShop game is getting amazing reviews. And people compared it to God of War and Elden Ring? So we got another really great show, everybody. What's going on, guys and girls? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're all doing amazing. Hope you saw the earlier episode. If you didn't, just watch them in reverse order. It totally works. This day was just so full, I had to bring it to you. Hit that like button if you enjoy these shows, and let me know your take on today's topics in the comments down below. I'm a Donatello guy. Now, you might be a Mikey fan, or you might like Leonardo, or you might be partial to Raphael. Either way, we all waiting for Shredder's Revenge. This game looks so sick that they're bringing back the OG arcadey style. It was supposed to launch last year, and then it didn't, like so many other things. But now we have a glimpse of when it might get its release date, because IGN announced a new fan fest streaming on February 19th, and listed there is TMNT Shredder's Revenge, and we should find out more about the game. I wasn't sure if it would pop at a direct, but it's already been at an indie world, and they've got a rule of 1. It's already shown up, so probably won't again, and this makes sense to get it out for an early spring release. I bet you this game comes out around March, maybe April, and hopefully we see some super sweet new gameplay and get that coveted release date on the 19th. I'll touch back then to let you know what happens, but if you guys are interested, IGN does have this fan fest. We'll touch back then to see what they reveal, but let me know in the comments down below if you're excited for new TMNT. Now, the big platform holders, they're excited about buying up as many companies as they can. Microsoft and Sony are on acquisition sprees, trying to hog the gaming market. And Nintendo has stayed historically out of this arena, and now new quotes from Furukawa confirm they ain't gonna do it anytime soon. His reasoning, though, was very interesting to me, and I want to know what you think, because Furukawa says our brand was built upon products crafted with dedication by our employees, and having a large number of people who don't possess Nintendo DNA in our group would not be a plus to the company. Nintendo getting a little elitist there, saying, hey, our Mario DNA, our Donkey Kong DNA, our Legend of Zelda Master Sword wielding DNA, we want to preserve that. And in a lot of ways, like, it makes sense. It might sound a bit kind of kooky, but like, Nintendo is Nintendo because they stay Nintendo. And for them more than anybody else, acquiring outside companies, it would probably not mesh all that well with their plan and their projects. Now, that's not to say they aren't spending on cool new stuff, because last year Nintendo announced they'd be dropping 100 billion yen into game development. Their own game development. And Furukawa said like they're gonna continue to do that and invest in their people, in their studios, and in their ideas to make them a reality the way they want to do it. Now, I think some of this is like an Eastern philosophy, maybe more versus a Western philosophy. It's also that Nintendo just loves to do things their way, and they want to keep their company how they've always had it. They want ultimate control, and they want to make sure that their brand messaging, their games, their characters, and every interaction they have between them and us is how they want it to be. So if you were at all worried about Nintendo getting antsy and following in the footsteps of Sony or Microsoft, they're not gonna do it. They're very protective of their own DNA. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it, don't do it. Do not fall down this death trap, Nintendo. You've probably seen the rise of NFTs, the mystical, magical, make sure you grab it before it's gone, one-of-a-kind stuff. JPEGs, or maybe a weapon in a game. NFTs have been all the craze lately, but there's a lot of downsides to them, including the fact that they seem kind of pointless and the fact that they have a really negative environmental impact. Now, a lot of companies have been on the NFT rush as of late. Ubisoft and Konami and plenty of others have wanted to get in on this arena while it's hot. As recent as this week, we saw Team 17 say, yo, we're making Worms NFTs. And then people hated it. And there was so much backlash, and so many indie developers were like, we're taking a stand against this and the negative impacts it has, that they reversed course. Troy Baker, the voice behind famous characters like Joel from The Last of Us, Booker DeWitt from BioShock, and Nathan Drake's older brother, had to cancel his weird voice NFT plans because everybody said, no, please stop. So it's disheartening to hear the question asked to our friends at Nintendo and to hear what they had to say. This translation comes from David Gibson, industry analyst who is keeping tabs on the financial call and investor Q&A. And Mr. Furukawa was asked, how do you feel about the metaverse and NFTs? And Mr. Furukawa said, we do have interest in this area. We do see potential in this area. Now, as soon as I heard this, my mind went a dark place. I thought about Nintendo Wii and Nintendo Amiibo. And then I was like, oh my gosh, NFTs. Nintendo is going to doll up their characters in weird ways and sell NFTs and try to make them cute and kid-friendly, and it all will just be a dark, dangerous, slippery slope. If you thought Amiibo never lived up to their potential and ended up just being shelf decorations, just wait to see what they do with NFTs and how useless those can end up being. And on top of this, Nintendo is so behind the times with some of their online endeavors. I can only imagine how weird this would go. The worst part about this, to me, is that right now, Nintendo is in so good with their fans, with their audience. Like, yeah, they can tighten up Nintendo Switch Online, and yeah, we want to make sure Breath of the Wild 2 hits in 2022, but they have revitalized their brand in such a stellar way, and we see it with the insane sales that we discussed this morning. The Switch is in such a good place. Nintendo is going so strong. Don't mess it up. I don't want them to be receiving so much backlash that they would receive if they were to go down this NFT route. Look, I know there's some cool applications for NFTs and some people are really into them and some people think they're really fun in the future, but I find them to be kind of a money pit and I find them to be bad for the environment and I find all of that to just add up to being something Nintendo should stay away from. Now here's the good news. Furukawa followed up his statement of interest by saying, but we wonder what joy we can provide in this area, and this is difficult to define right now. Nintendo does want to do right by its players. Nintendo does want to do right by its consumers. I'm sure they are interested, and as they should be, but I think as Nintendo explores what NFTs really could bring to them, they'll realize they would only bring hurt and pain and bad PR. And Nintendo, they really are about fun. They are about joy. I mean, they want to make money. They do a great job with their profits and they make sure their system gives them a nice kickback, but I don't think they do anything to really just sacrifice that joy. I don't think they do anything that is outwardly negative or received so poorly by such a large percentage of their player base. So I guess if anyone could make NFTs okay, maybe it would be Nintendo, but alas, I'd rather them just not touch it. And a follow-up comment from David Gibson makes it sound like Furukawa was more interested in metaverse, not NFTs. And that would be just digital worlds where players can come together, social media, games, all that stuff. Everybody is into that, and it's sort of the future of online play. And hey, Nintendo, looking towards the future of online stuff and interconnected worlds and how players can be involved with your ecosystem, okay, that sounds fine and great to me. Do a metaverse. I want to wear a Mario cap and don a sword and get decked out like Princess Peach. That's fine. That's not offensive, and as long as they don't go crazy down Zuckerberg's slide of madness, I think they'll be okay. I really don't think we need NFTs. We barely need Amiibo at this point. They're just cute and serve well on shelves. So a lot of alarms were going off. I really hope Nintendo doesn't do the unthinkable and make Mario into some overpriced, unnecessary NFT. But let me know your take in the comments down below. Do you think this would be a very bad move to see NFTs from Nintendo? Or do you think it would be cool? Let me know how you feel about it. I personally think Nintendo should stay far away, treat these things like the Grinch, 39.5-foot pole and all that. All right, now we don't have a poll for this episode, but we do have a poll of reviewers, and the verdict is that Olly World is amazing. It's currently sitting at an 85 on Metacritic. It releases next week, and it looks like it's going to be incredible. Some of the comments just blew me away, and two in particular just stunned me a bit. Olly World seems like it's addictive, charming, absolutely awesome to look at, and super fun to play with tons of challenge, great balance, and awesome controls. I mean, the gamer said, although February has a whole lot of excellent games that are all vying for your wallet, I can't see any of them overtaking how heartfelt, charming, and satisfying to play Olly Olly World is. Sure, it might not have double jumping horses, Elden Ring, or robot dinosaurs, Horizon Forbidden West, but becoming a skate wizard should be your first priority this month? And then PlayStation Universe followed it up by saying Olly Olly World is an incredible reboot and the perfect evolution of the Olly Olly franchise. Its vivid and bright levels, combined with the creativity in their design, make for a deep gameplay meta that will keep you coming back for years. To put it simply, Roll 7 did for Olly Olly World in 2022 what Sony Santa Monica did for God of War in 2018. That is heaping on huge praise. Elden Ring, Horizon, God of War, I mean, those are some of the biggest tentpole AAA titles, and these reviewers are comparing Olly Olly World to that in terms of the fun and feelings that this game elicits. There's also a strong multiplayer element, even though it's not head-to-head. A whole bunch of great leaderboard implementation and a bunch of cool challenges help flesh out this world with new characters, new lore, and new graphics. I gotta play it. I'm gonna go see if I can play it right now and let you know what I think. But yeah, Olly Olly World, we saw it in an indie world, it got delayed. All that wait feels totally worth it because this one seems like it's gonna be one of the best on the eShop. Let me know if you plan to pick it up and if these reviews are blowing your mind. We did it. 2 episodes of GMM in one day. Thank you to all of you who watch both of them. I appreciate your support so much. I couldn't do this show without you. So make sure you're all staying safe, staying healthy, staying happy, staying positive out there. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. We had to work overtime today because Nintendo, man, they're just doing so much cool stuff. It feels like despite the world being crazy and insane in a lot of areas, it's still such a cool time to be alive. I'm so glad I get to share it with all of you, my friends, my wonderful people. I appreciate you more than you know. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, everybody, thanks again for watching. SwitchForce out.